For this week's tarot reading, a lot of cards wanted to come out. There is a lot of energy here, and they were very confusing. So I had to sit with the cards for a bit to understand what they are trying to tell us. Let's dive in. So for the week's lesson, we got three cards wanted to come out. We got the Seven of Pentacles, we got the Five of Pentacles, and then we got the Ace of Wands. And so they tell a pretty interesting story when you put them together. So the Seven of Pentacles is all about planting seeds and having that slow, steady growth. It's not about a quick fix. It's about investing. This is about a card of investing. What are you investing in? Knowing that it will grow. So plant wisely. But also, it was followed by this card. And this card is also about feeling left out or feeling kind of like that lack, that scarcity mindset of poor me. Look at that rose. It's so sad there. And yet it's so concentrating on what's going wrong in this card, the bottom where it's so dark. It's not looking up at the light up at the top, the light that's going to come and actually help the rose grow. Not to mention that actually the rain, as much as it can be sad for us, is great for plants, great for a rose. And then it was followed by the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is like having a spark and having like energy and this passion come back out, something new, something fresh. So what I'm getting is that you've been maybe planting some seeds, you've been investing in something, and right now you're feeling a mix between feeling a little bit depleted, maybe on the verge of burnout, and just kind of looking at everything that's not going well, the seeds that are maybe not coming up yet. And at the same time, you also have this kind of fresh spark. You still have the reason why you initially wanted to plant the seeds in the first place. You still have that passion and that spark. It's just that you're caught maybe in the middle with this feeling of lack. So what are the weaknesses to look out for this week with regards to that? This one really was very surprising for me because it's the Empress, and this is one of the best cards. I love getting this card, but right now it's in the position of a weakness. So what is the weakness with regards to the Empress? Well, let's understand what the Empress is first in the first place. So the Empress is all about basically being in connection with your flow and your intuition and who you are, your divine feminine, being more in like this being able to be in the creation and feel your emotions and feel the abundance there, right? And so that usually is a pretty good thing, but here it's in the weaknesses. And so what I'm thinking here is just to be careful, especially while you are, working on what you're building with these two kind of conflicting feelings going on right now. Be careful right now not to maybe be too much in the flow or too much into your emotions or too much into your feminine side. Maybe actually a little bit of structure and a little bit of, discipline could help actually. It could help you, first of all, the discipline of not getting kind of bogged down or just dragged down by these feelings of the lack, but also maybe it would help with this energy that you don't necessarily always know what to do with. And so sometimes maybe having a little bit more structure, being a little less in the flow can actually help. And actually, it's interesting because then what are your strengths to lean into this week? We got the Devil and we got the Nine of Pentacles. And what I'm getting here is that the strength to lean into is the passion. What is lighting you up? Follow that. As Bashar says, follow the passion. That is actually very small breadcrumbs that is going to lead you to something that's really meaningful. And so to really pay attention to that, even if maybe sometimes what is lighting you up maybe is not exactly what you wish would light you up or what you kind of feel like society wants you to like. Because again, the Devil speaks a little bit sometimes of these addictions or maybe things that we're kind of not so proud of or we're trying to hide. And so this week, just pay attention. Your strength is actually in the things that are maybe lighting you up or maybe even your shadow side that you're trying to hide. And it's echoed by this card, the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is all about being self-reliant and kind of really coming into your own and being able to be independent. And so to me, it's like your strengths are your unique ways and your unique kind of desires and things that light you up are actually your strengths if you can make them that. And you're unique in them. That's what you're independent in the way you are. And so that's why sometimes it's scary, because you wish you could maybe be a little bit more like other people, even if like we like to be like, oh, I'm so, original. But that feeling of being really original sometimes doesn't actually really sit with us so well. And so today, the strength though that you can lean into this week is remembering that you do have that independence and that strength and that ability to take care of yourself. So lean into that this week. And then I absolutely loved the message of love that came out from our guides and higher self for this week. We got the 10 of Wands and we got the Judgment card. And so what I'm getting here is that the 10 of Wands is all about basically the burden and kind of maybe being burnt out, as we had mentioned, maybe here with that conflicting energy of both feeling kind of like the weight of your project and pulling you down, but also the spark. And so what I'm getting here though is that after burnout and after the darkness, after this darkness from the rose that you're feeling, that heaviness, there's actually so much light, so much like ascending. You get that light from the bottom that's really coming out here, the darkness down at the end of the card. And Judgment has to do with basically kind of forgiving and moving on from the past, maybe moving on from this victim mindset, moving more up towards the top of the card, towards that light that is actually there if you look for it. And Judgment is really about also like answering a call. It's like kind of moving up, like letting go of the past, letting go maybe of your past fears or the past ways of doing things, and kind of moving to a new place, a place where you're actually in a better place because you have kind of let go of the past, let go of some of the things. Maybe you've forgiven yourself too, because this card has to do with forgiveness, forgiven yourself for the things that are lighting you up that you wish maybe they didn't, but they are. And so you're kind of like, I think that there's really this beautiful progression of going from the darkness up into the light. And I think that's just a beautiful message to keep on going, that like, despite maybe being in this kind of bristle and not being kind of knowing what's going on, having a little bit of toughness, maybe because the seeds that you've planted haven't yet come up yet. So you're kind of like in the dark. After that comes this beautiful card of like rising up and really being able to be your authentic self. So I'm wishing you a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.